Guys, it's Masha, and we're into sales tip number 2. Wow, we're getting somewhere. I was attracted to sales actually very early on because of the potential to earn more. So I figured I could just earn as much as I could sell. So I stumbled upon sales tip number 2 very subconsciously, not realizing that it was actually a skill that I was developing, not knowing what I was doing. I'm not sure how many people wake up every morning and just go, I'm going to sell a lot, I'm going to be enthusiastic and sell as much as I can sell. And, that may not be the best way actually. So sales tip number 2 today is actually about planning. Are you one of those that wake up and go, I'm just going to sell as much as I can sell and, hope I meet this month's quota? Do you have a quota? Do you know what your quota is? And for those that don't have a quota, have you worked out, especially someone like me, I don't have a quota, how much do I need to sell? So if you're self-employed, have you worked out what you need to sell to be able to pay the bills when the month comes, what you need to be able to do extra when the month comes? So you have to work out, you have to establish what you need, so that you can decide what you need to be able to achieve it. What I did when I was I was 19 and I was renting, I went off on my own to rent, and so I put down on paper, okay, what do I need to rent, how much, what is the place that I want, a 1-bedroom, and I worked out this is how much I'm paying now if I want something much nicer, so I doubled it, and I said, okay, if I buy breakfast, lunch and dinner, and so I put that figure down, and then I said, okay, if I do my hair every week, I put that figure down, and then I said, if I do my nails every week, I put that figure down, and I like shoes, and I like clothes, so I said, if I spend, on this amount on clothes, and I spend this amount on the clubs, how much? And I put what my dream salary at that time would be, and I said, okay, wow, how am I going to get that? So I said, okay, so to get that, I need to sell this amount, which will be my quota, and if I sell this amount, then I will earn that amount in, so I'm going to use figures. So at that time, it was $8,000. That was my grand salary that I would, die for if I could earn it. So what I did was I said, okay, my quota was $50,000, and if I would sell $50,000 in construction equipment, my commission would be $1,000, and my salary was $3,000, my base. So that meant $4,000 would be what I would earn if I did my commission. So I would need another $4,000. So $4,000 at that time, now I'm really thinking of the math in my head, but I remember it being, I think it was 5% on sales, 2.5% on rentals, anything above. And then a certain level, you get another amount. And so that's what I worked out. And I needed something like, I think it was $120,000 or $150,000 in sales to get to my $8,000 a month. So that's what I did. I broke it down, literally broke it down into steps like that. I did what my expenses, what are the expenses that I want, and then I worked backwards. What sales do I need based on the commission figures? And then the next step was to decide, okay, so if I need 100 and I think it's about $140,000, for the digital people out there that need the exact figure, I would say please work with 140,000. So what I did was then okay, so if I need $140,000 for the month, I need, basically a compressor rents for $395, a demolition hammer rents for $120, and a jackhammer rents for I think it was $275. We had 4 compressors in the yard, we had 20 demolition hammers, we had about 16 jackhammers. So I worked what I had in the yard, because of course it's not going to be possible to say, well, I'm going to rent 100 compressors when I only have 4 compressors in the yard. So I worked out the equipment that I had and how much, if I rented everything out in the yard, how much that could earn me. So I said, okay, cool, this is what I need to earn. So I need to have a certain amount of weekly rentals per customer. So, okay, I then went City Corporation rents compressors, Hosign rents demolition hammers, Plumbing Solutions rent demolition hammers, and I worked out the different customers that I can approach to rent. And I then said, okay, what construction sites do they have? So do they have 10 in Port of Spain? Do they have 12 in Chagonas? Do they have 5 in San Fernando? And so I planned a route because I needed a very efficient way to see a certain amount of customers every day, to visit a certain amount of job sites every day, because I needed at the end of every day to have a certain amount of sales. Because if I had a certain amount of sales every day, then I'd have a certain amount of sales every month. And so I worked backwards. I worked out what my expenses needed to be. I worked out what equipment I had, what resources I had. And then I worked out how was I going to use the resources on a daily basis to come up with the sales that I needed. And so I worked backwards like that. I broke it down. And if you don't have a job in sales, then you have two choices really. You can either get a job in sales or be self-employed or do something where you can change your income based on changing work ethic, changing whatever. Or you can plan. You still need to plan your expenses so that you can make sure your expenses fit what you earn. Now, I personally, that's not the choice, because I don't believe in shrinking our lives and shrinking our desires to fit what we earn. So maybe you can find a way to subsidize income. It's Christmas time. People need pastels. They need, I don't know, I don't like to boil sorrel. Maybe you can put some sorrel in a bottle and I'll have homemade sorrel from you. There are different ways of earning extra income. Call me and I'll tell you a few of them. And but you have to have a plan. So that is my sales tip number 2. You must have a plan. Again, feel free to message me if you need help planning. I'm very, very, very good at planning. I actually had to learn how not to plan, because I don't know, the planning part was a skill that I developed without even going to school to learn it. So feel free to message me and we can set up a planning session if you need be. I hope you guys have a great weekend. It's Saturday. You probably won't see this until Monday, but my hair was done. I just come back from the zoo, so I figured it'd be a nice time to do a video for you guys. So I hope you had a good weekend, and I hope you have a great week. I know you'll have a great week. We don't hope in this house. We just know. Because if we believe it, we will achieve it. Have a great, great, great week, guys. See you soon. Bye.